Welcome back to Kamen Review, episode 290. We are here discussing episodes of Kamen Rider 5's 29 to 31. Yeah, this kicks off an arc that doesn't wrap up until episode 30, I think 33, I think it is. So, it's basically a conflict between Fives and the Horse Orochi, basically Takarun and Yuji. We got a lot of development on that part there. Well, we pick up right where we left off in episode 28, where Kusuke has become Kamen Rider Delta. And during the course of this, he actually see him transform, fight basically Fives and Kotra. Later on in the episode, he gets his own motorcycle, referred to as a jet setter, which apparently this thing made his debut in the Paradise Lost movie for Kamen Rider Fives. So I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, that's our first show. It's associated with something else, but yeah, it's basically it seems like he finds it and he just turns on really easily, hits some buttons, and it's like this big hunking piece of equipment. And also has missiles, which that is interesting, which makes it probably the first rider motorcycle to come with missiles. I found that'd be interesting. And then the very next episode, Fives gets one when he hears the number that Katsuya says to his little by the way, when he transforms is different than the other two. He just put his gun in the holster and he just transforms. I'm like, that's Delta transformation? Interesting. At least something different than like Kusa basically was like a carbon copy transformation of Fives. This one's different. And of course, basically, he has it here, and they fight him pretty much in 31. Fives' jet set gets destroyed in 30, and basically it's away thanks to this little time thing. Also, Kula apparently just doesn't like Taka, despite he's the main writer of the show. And the reason why he doesn't like him is because he's in love with Mare. Despite the fact Mari doesn't have a thing for him at all, she is not seen that way. And it's also hints at that, I think it's mentioned about Soa, the guy who joined Lucky Clover, that apparently was a failure. I'm like, okay, interesting. By the way, Yuji's group, they don't do a lot here per se. There's a brief thing in 30 where Yuta is basically knocked out by Koza just so he can take the Fives belt, start basically a fight with Yuji in his Horse Orochi form. Oh yeah, and also claiming that Yuki stole the belt, despite the fact it was Kacho's of the belt. You're probably watching this why in the world does he act this way? He's jealous. Yeah, and by the way, when he's Fives, he doesn't speak at all. And then, of course, transforms his own gear, and then they battle basically a couple other Orochi in the episodes. One actually defeated by Soa off screen. Yes, he pretty much defeats the Swordfish Orochi, who basically is identified as a gorgeous man. Yeah, and the guy who plays him is Tasamatsu Shura, who's a costume designer. Yes. Pretty much basically, this is the guy who designed the monsters. And he just pops up here for this one. He basically is the one who designed the Roshi suits. I am a little surprised. He's the one who designed it, but he was played by Masaki Tichi. I'm not really sure who this is. But he's defeated in episode 31. Also, it ends with a cliffhanger where Bosa is trying to kick Soda his rider kick, and Mirai steps in the way. You're like, wow. Also, they have one Orochi called the Stink Bug. Yeah, he is pretty much killed by Yuji off screen. Also, they have a brief thing where Yuji and Takami briefly work together. In 29, basically, it was in 29, that's when they both discovered that's where Yuji discovered that Takami is Fives, and Takami discovered Yuji is an Orochi. Yeah. So, really cool here that we're continuing the serialization is really good. It's like we're just continuing our plot here. Still lots of excitement per se, and we have roughly 3 more episodes left to go, and then pretty much basically be on break. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Took a video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, notifications. So next up we have is basically, well, we're gonna do one more set of episodes, and then we're gonna break, and then start my anime. Okay, thanks, you.